Namaste, Grand Rising. Christina Ariel here. It's approximately 6 something in the morning, or maybe it's a little before that. Anywho, I'm on here to give this information. Maybe it might help someone. So, I think this was a dream, and it's been an ongoing visual, like a dreamscape for me for years now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you what I experienced. So, um, many of you understand and are aware of the deity Sekmet, and you probably know how the story goes. Um, Ra wanted her to um, chastise the people of Earth because they were disrespecting him and they weren't praising him, and is how the legend goes or the mythology goes, however you want to say it. So she came in the form of a lioness deity, and she wreaked havoc. She wreaked so much havoc and so much. It said she wreaked so much havoc and killed so many because blood ran in rivers on the earth that Ra had to devise a way to stop her. Now, she was his daughter, so he wasn't going to kill her. So he changed beer. He changed the color of beer by adding pomegranate to it. And when she saw it, she just drank of it and drank of it and drank of it and drank of it until she became drunken and passed out. It's how he got her out of her bloodlust. And to explain this, bloodlust is more of a rage. So bloodlust becomes an entity when it within and of itself. Bloodlust is the feeling of being so enraged and so vengeful that you forget your whole purpose of why you were doing what you were doing in the first place. You forget the purpose of you being in a certain state, and it takes you over and consumes you and becomes its own entity. So you get so enamored with actually seeing blood. And it also stems from pain. It's like, if I had to explain it, I don't know if any of you know this, but whenever something traumatic happens or blood is spilled, that means protons or um, light energy has been spilled or left behind in a place in person, place, or thing. Excuse me. But so there are places in the earth where such heinous acts have happened that it leaves an energy behind. Okay. So to me, that part of the story of Sekhmet talks about cleaning up bloodlust or anger or trauma. Because when someone has been introduced to trauma, especially if it's been at a very early age, sometimes traumatic energy gets locked into person, place, or thing. So, like the children that have been known to start fires, right? That's a kind of trauma, but it's also an anomaly because transmuted that trauma into something else. So, spontaneous combustion can also be thought of as that, and it's also a punishment sometimes in some ways. I won't go deep into that, that's a whole nother conversation. But these energies have to be released or transmuted. So, when you go through trauma at an early age and you don't know what to do with the anger and the it's a type of poison. It's like it comes out of not understanding, not knowing, and not having the power to stop the act that is being committed upon you. So you you think of it as if you were able to transmute into different animals or shapes, right? So when this act is being carried out against you, you're trying to transform in all these different shapes and all these different energies to try and stop the act from being carried out. But for some reason, you can't stop the act, not not understanding, overstanding, or understanding that possibly you were meant for whatever reason to go through this act. It could be um, a previous lifetime that you had to receive um, karma. I don't know. But you have to, in some way, in some form, come to grips and acceptance of the trauma and the act in order for you to be able to acknowledge that it happened and understand it in a way within yourself that you accept it, transmute the act that happened, and revise it, revise the energy. Some of you understand what I'm saying, some of you may not. I'm just sharing this. I feel the need this morning to share this. So at this moment, I'm going through training at my position that I've chosen. And in going through the training, it sparked some trauma that I wasn't aware of and I wasn't ready for because I thought I was well together. Well, it caused it caused my brain to go into this hypothesis, but it wasn't doing it as fast as I would have liked it to because my life is very controlled, but you have to be able to carry out certain steps and certain things no matter when they come when you're in a position of a certain position. Like if you're in a position to be a what is it called? Crisis uh, worker, you have to be able to work in crisis and not hit any type of hiccup. So when I worked in healthcare, we were taught how to do things second nature. So you went through a repetitive state of learning, and then boom, they would throw something on you, and then you would have to try and alleviate that issue or work through it while you were in this crisis. So it got you used to it. It got you so used to it to eventually you didn't get the fast heart palpitations or the anxiety. You understand? So in this dream scope or scape, it's the moment when Sekmet wakes up because she's been drunken. She had been drunken and fell asleep because of the pomegranate beer. Okay? And she drunk the pomegranate beer thinking it was blood. Well, Ra said, had them fill these, put this pomegranate beer there because when you think of lions, you think they eat things raw, right? So you think that most people equate that with they have a blood obsession. Um, I don't know. I know it's a totem animal, and when I see my my lion as a totem, I see her as wisdom. I see her as nurturing. I see her as caring. However, when she sees certain things go down in the earth, when she sees that children are being hurt, when she sees that people are being disrespectful to sacred things and sacred appointments, it angers her. She's angry. And what she teaches me is that we have to respect every creation, even if we don't understand it. There was a time in my walk, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, when she's introducing herself to me, when she was showing me to have respect for the earth. Because I won't lie, I was doing little things. I thought I had it together, but I was doing little things like I would drop gum wrappers on the ground, and something within me started being like, no, pick that up. What are you doing? The earth is sacred. Like, your life, your being, your bodies, all seven, are sacred. Do you not understand this? Like, she called me out, you know what I'm saying? And then she took me through this process of, I'll only share what I can. She took me through this process of respect, what respect means. First for the self, and then for others. And I won't lie, and I feel it now, like I got very emotional, and I didn't understand that there were things within me that needed to be released, like um, sadness, fear, anger, happiness, like purging and really grieving for the people that I loved and lost, and being okay with saying I loved and I lost them, or they did me wrong, they betrayed me, but it's okay that I still love them. I just can't love them up close. I love them far away, and I had to let go of them. You understand? It's a process of maturing and growing, of being okay with being an anomaly, of understanding that there are vicious, evil people in the world that are trying to heal, and there are also those that are not trying to heal. They like the way they are. And being okay with the choice that they made for themselves and saying goodbye to them because they no longer fit into your life, such as it is, and such as you have chosen for yourself. It's okay. Of understanding and choosing that God has chosen you to do a job, but you have to choose God as well. So I knew this to be true at a very early age. But what I didn't know at that age was that it set me up to be what seemed like at the time to be targeted for the things that I would say. When my grandfather was here, he would call it the persecution phase. At the time that he told me about it, I didn't enter over understand what he was talking about. But these things he taught me are coming back now. And I had to learn not to go into fight all the time. I had to learn to think about what's going on, to step outside of the situation, step outside of myself, and view it from a non critical or a non judging being or perception. So, yeah. So, in this moment of reflection on Sekmet and what she went through, when she woke up and her father looked at her, it wasn't in a way of adoration that she normally saw in his eyes. It was from a view of, I can't believe this my beautiful daughter, my beautiful baby, my beautiful creature, beautiful desert flower. She can be so cold and so callous and so unbelievably frightening. But we all hold light and dark within us. Sometimes it's just frightening for those around us and for us how dark the darkness can be. You understand? But instead of running from the darkness, instead of denying the darkness, instead of saying, I don't know you, you're not, I don't want to be a part of you because you've scared the people I love. You make them see me in another way. I don't want to be seen in that way by the people that I love. I want them to love me without fear and without seeing this grotesque thing. Never understanding that you have to accept every part of you. You have to accept it. There's no way around it. You have to accept it and you have to integrate it into your being in order for you to be whole. You have to accept it and you have to integrate it. You have to understand it and revise it. If can be, not necessarily revising all the time. Sometimes you just have to accept it for what it is. It is a part of you. And it is that part of you that you will need if somebody ever comes against you to hurt you. You will need that part of you to be able to be ferocious. So everyone has a beast within them. Some just run from the beast. Some integrate the beast. And some become the beast. It is what it is. But if you can integrate it, and you can understand the beast, and you can conversate with the beast, and when the beast knows it's safe, it's quiet, it's dormant. But when you poke the beast reacts. So, in that understanding of the parts of yourself, the dimensions of you, in that understanding of the dimensions of you comes power. Do you understand? There comes great power with that. Don't be afraid of yourself. Inner, over, and understand yourself. We all have darkness within. You must integrate with it, be at peace with it. No one's perfect. No one in this life is perfect. No one in this life could ever be perfect. It's a journey. It's learning about yourself, learning who you are, and sometimes what you are. It unleashes the many different dimensions that are you. There's power in those dimensions. You will withstand many different types of power in those dimensions. Hear me. Please hear me. I can't tell you how much more peaceful peace it is when you understand the anger that you've come from, when you accept it, when you delve into it and you dissect it and separate it, sift through it to understand it and put it in its perspective and truly enter over and understand yourself. It's mind blowing. Things start unraveling for you. Dimensions start unraveling for you. Travel becomes easier. Travel within yourself, without yourself, in the dimensional portals within the world. It's amazing. Love, peace, and light. Namaste.